Okay, it's recording now, and we're going to talk about the Winning with Wealth Empowerment team. I'm Rhonda Gill Turner Garner with our second presenter, Fontanya Myrick. She's also on the call and the presenting presenter. And we're going to present members make money with our team and how they can make money with our team. And I'm just going to give the mic over to Fontanya to kind of introduce herself and do some introductions, and we'll go from there.
My name is Fontanya Myrick, as the beautiful Rhonda Gill, Ms. Turner Gardner had mentioned, and I am a certified life coach as well as a hair healthcare practitioner and a radio host as well. And I thought so much of this information and this young lady that I wholeheartedly feel that whoever is not watching this webinar, unless they get this information from whatever little corner of the world, they are missing out. And I'm just so excited to be here. Ms. Rhonda Gill Turner Gardner has been such an inspiration to so many people. She is not your average, she's not a tax preparer by far. She's a coach. She's literally an educator of her craft. She knows her stuff. She breaks it down. She takes what is difficult and government lingo, she breaks it down, chews it up, and spits it out in simplest forms so your average person can embrace it, they can implement it, and they can benefit from it. And just having her here today and being a part of this is really an honor, to say the least. And again, welcoming anyone who is joining us on this webinar. They are so fortunate, and their lives will never be the same after this. If it is, it's because they got it on mute or something, because this is definitely life-changing. I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone on this webinar.
And I'm excited as well. Thank you so very much, Fontanya. Um, when you join our team, and we're going to get into that later on, but you will be a VIP in its own right. You're going to have perks and things that no other company would give unto you, especially a tax prep company would give to you or offer to you as we would offer. And Fontanya and I, we're just not tax and hair. We're mothers, we're entrepreneurs, we're coaches, we're uh, inspirational speakers, we're encouragers, we are business moguls. So there are just more than one entity that we have, and we will be showing you all, whoever become teammates of ours, on how to um make money, grow wealth, and do beyond that which we are doing, most of us, and do that which the Father commands us to do, which is be about His business. So,
Right.
so what we're going to do now is just get into the initial presentation, and at the end of the initial presentation, we'll speak a small amount about how to become a team member on the Winning with Wealth Empowerment team, and we'll also let you know how members make money, because membership does have benefits. And just get prepared, because one thing about
Right.
our team, we just don't give you information without applying biblical truths to it as well. So we're going to tell you some things that are factual in the secular arena, but we're going to back it up with the word of truth. That's the word of God. So during the
That's
first
right.
hour of the web conference, you will learn a variety of information. So what you can do if you don't have it right now, you can find something to write with and write on, or you can make sure you can. Fontanya and I, we're going to make this webinar available so that you can have access to it as well. So we're going to make sure that
That's
you
right.
will get time to have access to this. Basically, what we're
That is so cool.
basically what we want you to learn, especially because tax season is coming up. Not only that, the world of taxes and preparation and filing, let me give everyone a heads up. It's going to change after what I call President Obama and the Obama era. Once President Obama is no longer in office, the way of the world and our government system is going to change. Uh,
Hmm.
it's going to change where class two of people are going to be eliminated. So you only have a class
Hmm.
one type people and a class three. And what we mean by class one and class three, that's the wealthy and the poverty. You know, Jesus said there always be poor among you, and that's what that's going to come to. So we're going to give you some information where you want to find your money and where to look on your past returns to see if you have any money in your IRS account. So I know we're on this webinar, but what we want you to do, go ahead and jot down. If you filed the 1040 EZ, look on line 6 where it says taxable income and line 11 where it says tax. If you have any amount in line 11, that's money you could have gotten back in addition to what you may have already gotten. So that
Hmm.
on line 11 is actually money that you just handed over to the IRS just because your hard-earned dollars was kept in that bank account that they have for you called you like, well, I don't have account with the IRS. Yes, you do. It's called a social security number. That's your account number because by law they cannot legally set up an account number for you because you're not family or you're not in business with them. So therefore they had to disguise the account number as a social security number.
Hmm.
So if you see anything, if you filed a 1040A, most people file a 1040A. That's because they have more than one W-2 or they might have other documentation from the IRS, a W-2 or 1099 retirement or a 1099 um, uh, I just went blank. Excuse me. Or,
Okay.
or they may have a 1099 miscellaneous form where you have done some work and weren't taking out taxes, or you might have some unemployment 1099 GOV, or if you're a gambler, you have a W2G, which is a gambling, because technically gambling is a way of money. That's why they put it on a legal document, 10, a W2G, because a lot of people actually make money from gambling. That's a source of their income. So therefore, they, by law, are given the government document W2G.
Hmm.
Now, if you see anything, if you file a 1048 on line 27 where it says taxable income and line 28 where it says tax, line 28 is the amount of money. If you have anything in line 28, that's the amount of money you actually handed over to the government just because. You did not, if you have anything in line 28, you did not get your full refund amount. You did not, let me say that again. If you see anything on line 28, you did not get your full refund amount. So if you filed a line on 1040, 1040s are what we call the long form, people who itemize. If you look on line 43 of your taxable income or line 44 under tax, if you have anything on line 44, you did not get your total refund amount, and you actually are just giving that to the government, the IRS, and they will send you an interest form, a 1099 INT. That's letting you know how much money you have in your account gaining interest for them, because you did not present them with the proper documentation to get all of your refund. So that's where you would find your money and to see if you have any left over.
And Rhonda, also, I just wanted to make mention that if anyone that is viewing this, that they might want to get a hold of their tax returns,
Yes,
their past returns, to kind of, to be able to kind of look on also.
exactly. And that's what we would want you to do, is to go maybe 2 years back. Go to your 2013 and 2012 and look on your line. If you filed it, you'll see in the upper left hand corner of your return whether or not you filed a 1040 or 1040A or 1040EZ. So that's located in the upper left hand corner. And once you found that document, then look on, if you filed a 1040, look on line 44. If you see anything other than a zero, that's the amount that is left over that is drawing interest for the Internal Revenue. That's nothing that you can, oh, okay, I see I have $2,000 on line 44, I'd like to draw it out. No, you would actually have to amend that year. Amend that year. And you just can't send an amendment, oh, okay, I got $2,000, I just want to amend it so I can get it out. No, you will have to present proper documentation in order to withdraw that amount. So, for example, if you filed a 1040A and you did not itemize, then you cannot get what was left on line 28. In order to get what is left on line 28, you will now have to go and itemize your return. So you would have to pull up things like your medical receipts, your checkbook, your credit card statements, and see what personal items you can claim. Did you give anything to charity? Any gifts to charity? Any clothes to charity? Any charitable donation, whether it's in the form of cash or in the form of physical? You're going to have to get those out. And normally what I've experienced in my 19 years of tax preparation is that until this information becomes available, most people don't save receipts. And because most people don't save receipts or log their purchases, their spending, and they hide that word as well. The IRS had that word as a deduction. So anytime you're talking about your deduction, you're actually talking about spending. So anytime you hear the terminology used as, well, your tax deduction, they're talking about your spending. What did you spend? Where's your receipt for spending? One thing I love about the Word of God in Genesis 1, it says, let every seed come after their own kind, or be presented after its own kind. Okay, well, in order to know the value of that which was purchased, you have to have like seed. So for instance, money is made of what? What, Fontanya? Help the callers out. Money is made of what?
I would say money is made of paper.
Paper. And paper comes from a what?
Paper. comes from trees.
Trees. Okay, and a receipt is made of what?
The same thing.
Paper, and receipts
Trees.
and paper come from trees. So you want to keep your receipts to show the value of the purchase, because I can walk in your house now, say Fontanya has some furniture, and I say, well, how much did you pay? She can only give me an estimate, especially if she doesn't remember the actual amount. Then what she would have to do is say, well, I paid about 1,000. Okay, well, what is the actual dollar and cent amount? Well, I don't know. So what she would have to do is either save the receipt from it or transfer. And one thing about the government, I have to let everyone know, they got wind of people actually saving receipts. So then they started putting it on thermal paper. Thermal paper, the ink disappears. So that's why the receipts don't last as long, because they figure a lot of people won't transfer the receipt and the purchase into a logbook, because that requires an extra step.
So let me ask you this one. So what would you say to someone who they're a little tech savvy, and let's say they want to take a picture with their phone, or they have, like the new gadgets out that actually you can actually scan your receipts and stuff like that. Would that still be good?
Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because, like I said, we do apply biblical terms here as well. And we know the technological arena is going to be hooked up in a way where only certain people will have access, and too many people of those people you don't want to have access. So I would say yes, you can, and do a spreadsheet. If you do a spreadsheet, or if you do anything on the internet, please print it out as well. Have black and white to whatever you decide to do. So if you don't, yeah, get a hard copy, because one thing you want to leave is a paper trail. Because suppose the computer goes down, or in my case, my hard drive got fried. Now what? I have no access to it.
So what would you say to someone who might think to scan it and to save it to a cloud format? You know how like Gmail has Drive and Dropbox and Evernote, and what would you say about that? Would that still be something that...
I would say that's okay, but then again, back it up with hard copy, because what's the cloud? The cloud is a form of saving it on the internet. And that's going to lead up, and for those who know their Bibles, that's going to lead up to the mark of the beast. Because eventually, if you have your things in the cloud, and eventually you have to have the mark, which I believe is the implant and a scanner, the webcam, and your fingerprint scan, you won't be able to get that out unless you have the mark. But if you have a paper stored up in a nice file cabinet, which are all tax deductible, you'll still have access to your things, even though I would say do both. I really would. I would say do both. If you're, and when we get into the business aspect, we'll go ahead and tell you how and why it still will be easy to transpose that to paper. It's something that you really don't have to do the work yourself, and we'll get into that a little later on down the slide. But that's where you find your missing money. Another question is audit proofing. Again, that's going to be, leave a paper trail for everything you buy. If you spend money on it or for it, have the paperwork to back it up. When the IRS come, even though you might have saved it to the cloud or have saved it to a flash drive, that's all good and well. But, and the IRS, they're still in dinosaur mode. A lot of things they have not actually, they're working on becoming all computerized, But a lot of things, especially if by chance you are audited,
Mhm.
they want to see paper as proof.
Mhm.
So,
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point, Rhonda. Because
yeah,
there's a lot of gadgets out here now, and I think a lot of people are gravitating towards them because it's it's advertised as no fuss and no paper. So you would think that that that's something that is that will be wise. Now, I'm not sure, but I think some of those programs or software might have it where you can convert over to like an Excel spreadsheet. So I think in that case, maybe that might be okay.
yeah. As long, like I said, even if you put everything on the cloud, that's fine. But print it out as well.
Mhm.
Print it out as well. Just don't leave the cloud as a backup.
Right.
Or email it to yourself.
Mhm.
Use maybe a Gmail account or something like that, but still I would still print it out
Mhm.
first. Period.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, file cabinets are a tax write-off.
Yeah,
That's
I was
why
just looking at
that's why Walmart sells them. You know,
and the printer and the
except
ink.
printer, ink, all of that is a tax
Okay.
write-off because now you're getting into a home office,
Mhm.
and home offices are tax write-off.
Mhm.
Because even if you work for a job, because you are itemizing, you still have a home office because some they call it a non reimbursed employee expense. So
Mhm.
even though you're doing some things on your own, even if you have a job, you're preparing yourself to file taxes. So
Mhm.
you can say, well, I bought a desk, I bought a laptop, I bought an iPad, I bought a
Mhm.
phone, I bought a printer, I bought some ink, I bought a logbook, I bought a file cabinet, I bought even a receipt book. Uh, because what I wanted to do, even though I worked this job, I wanted to save my paychecks or I wanted to keep track of my spending so that I can itemize. And because you're showing proof of that,
Mhm.
that is audit proofing yourself. So
And
those
if I
are,
could just
go ahead.
mhm. If I can just make one point. This is probably the fourth slide that we're looking at, and already that bit of information, your average person does not know that. They make the assumption that if you don't have an actual established home-based business, that you cannot itemize, you cannot write off anything. So that alone is definitely something that can make a big difference in a tax refund.
Yes, exactly. I thank you, Fontanya, for bringing that out because it brings us to the next point. Okay, even on your regular job, when you itemize, you can actually itemize certain forms, which is called a Schedule A. That's your personal business, your personal business. And the reason why I said you can itemize it is because the things that you can itemize is tied is still tied up to the government. Okay, for instance, you can actually itemize and file sales tax. That's on your Schedule A. So because you pay taxes, remember anything that has to do with the government, you can itemize.
Mhm.
So that's another reason
Mhm.
why you want to save your receipts because you can actually file the
Mhm.
sales tax from your receipts because
Mhm.
you paid money to the government. And
Mhm.
that's why you
I
want,
have a quick question,
go
Rhonda.
ahead.
I think. Mhm. Quick question. Let's just say, that someone they want to avoid the ink coming off of these receipts, as you mentioned that it's thermal ink now. Is there anything that they can purchase that they can do to to maybe stop that action? Is there a certain type of material, or you know what I'm saying, plastic.
Yes.
I know that like when there's photo albums, and the plastic will keep the photos from actually aging and different things like that. Is there anything that they can maybe purchase and use so that that won't happen?
I have not found anything that will prevent a thermal receipt ink from disappearing.
Okay.
However, what I suggest to my clients is go to Walmart or go to Dollar General or go to Office Depot or Home Depot and get you a budget book. Those budget books are about $2 and some change.
Mhm.
They are already prefabricated to the point where they list
Mhm.
like gas, medical bills. It all is already prefabricated where all you have to do is write the amount in
Fill it
for
in.
whatever
Wow.
you spent it. So, for instance, if you bought $3.25 today in gas, I don't know why would you buy $3.25
You
in
won't get
gas?
far.
But maybe you just going from across the street.
One gas station to the next.
But if you purchase gas today, you would just write that on underneath today's date.
Mm. Now
And
you have a lot of people that aren't really good with keeping up with things like that. They like to travel light, or you know, like myself, I might just grab like my keys or whatever the case might be. Just kind of to just make like a quick run or what have you. I would even suggest maybe like a sticky notepad or something that they can continuously jot down throughout that day, and when they get back home later on, come
right,
back
and
and actually go ahead and log that.
that's the purpose for the receipt. It takes
Mhm.
about a week for the ink to disappear. So
Mhm.
you still have those receipts. Always get a receipt. Even if you go to a yard sale, I would say keep a 50-cent
Receipt book.
receipt book in your car
Mm. Okay.
or in your purse. Because even if the person that you're buying the item from the yard sale, even
Mhm.
if they don't have a receipt book, by you getting one, and I think it's 50 cents maybe at the Family Dollar or Dollar General.
Uh-huh.
They're small enough to keep in your purse or just put in your back pocket, like you say, if you're going for a run. But
Mhm.
always get a receipt. I train my children, do not come out the store without my receipt.
Mhm.
And if you
Mhm.
train them young, they're going to automatically know that when they go in
Got
the
it.
store to get a receipt.
Mhm. Mhm.
When you
Now,
get
one last
gas,
question.
go ahead.
About the thermal ink. Let's just say that they've kept up with the receipts. The bulk of the ink, if not all the ink, is gone, because that's happened to me before. And until I learned from you about the thermal ink thing, I thought it was me. That he just had, it was just some bad paper. Or, it all made sense after I met you. But my question is, if they have receipts, but the ink is all gone. If they have logged everything, is that as, let's say they get audited or whatever comes up, is that as good as a receipt?
It's better.
Okay. Okay.
It's better because they have the date. They have everything on it that the receipt has on it.
Mm. So
Which,
even though they don't have it on there, it's still legal.
right, it's illegal
Okay.
because one thing and that's one thing I love to do with my tax clients is to show them line by line what the government asked for.
Mhm.
So it will ask you when you're itemizing, are you getting this information from receipts, log books, budget books, computer printout, spreadsheets, or any other type of form of documentation to show proof of purchase?
Mhm. Mhm. POP.
Right. Because know that if you had an accountant or if you were an accountant, what you would do if you hired an accountant, you would just take your receipts to the accountant and the accountant would transfer those information from the receipt
Right.
to a log book or a budget book or a spreadsheet.
Wow.
So the receipt is just for you to transfer transfer or to travel with until you
Mm-hmm.
get back home to your home office. Because more work is
Wow.
done in your home office.
Wow. And you
So
have a lot of people that keep a lot of receipts, and if they just knew that all they had to do was document it, log it, they can
that's
do away
all.
with the receipts.
That's all.
Because
And I'll go ahead and spill the tea. I'll go ahead and spill the tea.
spill the tea,
I'm
Rhonda.
gonna spill the tea. If anyone have a niece, a nephew, a son or daughter, or a neighbor, say they want to make extra money, hire them
Mm-hmm.
to transpose or to transfer the amount from the receipt to your budget book or to a log.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what
I,
age would they have to be?
I would say 12 because 12 is a legal age to actually go into business for themselves.
Now, listen at this. Listen at this, Rhonda.
Hmm.
I've heard that depending on the state, it can be as young as 7 years old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true
Yeah.
because honestly, I started my children in, helping me with taxes when they were able to read and write.
Wow.
So whenever they were able to read and write, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
That's power.
So if you have someone of school age and they want to go shopping or they want to go to the mall or they want to go um, to Walt Disney World or something for the summer, don't just incorporate that in with, I mean, you can incorporate that in their day to day or actually hire them. If you hire them to actually do this for you, you can actually file a Schedule C and that will be contract labor or that can be hired labor for you, which is a tax write-off.
Wow. Now, is it true that you have to fall under a category of, say, incorporated or LLC to be able to do that, or could there still be someone who just has a regular job and they're itemizing for purposes of preparing for taxes?
No, this is right now. I'm just going over personal itemization, like
Okay.
your medical bills, your property taxes,
Mhm.
your charity donation,
Mhm.
your unreimbursed employee expenses like your uniforms. Some people
Mhm.
have to buy their uniforms,
Right.
or for instance, there are some workplaces that you have to wear a certain attire. I
Mhm.
have to dress in heels or I have to dress in a three-piece suit.
Mhm.
That's a uniform because if not, you can get written up or sent home if
Right.
you're out of.
Right.
So that is non-reimbursed work attire.
Mm.
If you think about someone in sales, they have to look the part of whatever company. So
Mhm.
if they're selling for a jewelry company, they might have to wear a $200 watch. They might have to wear a two. It depends, on
Mm.
what are they doing. So
Mhm.
that still fall under the category of your employer. I'm not paying for you to dress this way, but you have to dress this way because this is our dress code. Also, some things who are some things to make mention of in the office setting. A lot of these offices have office parties, or they have
Mm.
different type of extracurricular things in the
Right.
office. That's a tax write-off
Mhm.
because you're doing it on company's time, but the company is not paying for you to do it. You came out your pocket to do it. Save the receipt for it. I remember when I used to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield, we used to have little parties, especially if someone would have a baby. We would give like a baby shower at the office. Okay, that gift that you purchased, that's a write-off because you're presenting the
Mhm.
gift at the office.
Mhm.
So you save your receipt and you document, okay, on your logbook, office expense for baby shower. and then you just write the amount of purchase. So there are a lot of hidden nuggets that we can go in detail about, but that's for training.
I know that's right.
They have to come to our training sessions to get those.
That's right. That's right. It only makes sense.
So just know that bank card statements, we can help audit proof. No guarantee. So I like to say that even if you get audit, we can help you pass the audit with a flying A+. So one thing you want to make sure is that you have all your documentations for everything that you spend. For everything that you spend out of pocket, anything you spend money on, document it. And I am suggesting with all firmness to leave a paper trail.
That's right. And I'm all for technology. I would even add to that if it's something that a person feels like is just too much to think about, keep an envelope in your glove compartment. And that way, all throughout the week, you can put your receipts in there. And at the end of the week or whatever, you can bring the envelope in and you can go ahead and just do a sit-down documenting, or you can pass it off to your 10-year-old and say, hey, I need this done or whatever. Or just simply set a timer on your cell phone.
Tanya, that's what I used to do, honestly. In the world of technology, they don't give paychecks anymore. A lot of people have direct deposits, or you can pull your notice of deposit offline. But this is what I would suggest: to go to the dollar store, get a pack of $1 legal envelopes, okay? Every time you get paid, I want you to think about every time you get paid, use an envelope. Number one, you want to print off your notice of deposit if they still do not give it to you. You're getting direct deposit. Then, for everything that you buy, like you said, put it in that envelope and log on the envelope exactly what it's for. And that acts as a budget as well, because at the top you can put this paycheck amount was $1,000. Okay? Then now you have your running total as to what you spent from that $1,000, and now you have your own accounting thing. You have your receipts in the envelope, and now you also just jot down, okay, I spent blah 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 for gas. I had $12 worth of grocery. We did a $25 movie, and you have that on that envelope, and you can see exactly what you spent for that particular paycheck. I mean, one thing about it we got to understand is that money requires responsibility. And this is what I tell my clients. Look at money as though it was your child. You want the best for your child, you should want the best for your money. Money is not created, or was not created to spend all willy-nilly. Money was created to train, just like you send your children to school to learn. You technically was supposed to send your money to an institution, a financial institution, to learn and grow as well. Because technically wealth requires money working for you and you not working for it. So how are we going to get more money without working less? Okay, the next slide is talking about how to increase your take-home pay and not the amount of hours you want to work unless you just want to. Okay, it's a matter of going to your human resources, or if you can log online to your company, you can go in to your W-4. Your W-4 is your exemption form, and exemptions are not dependents. Your exemptions are your exemptions are not dependents. Your exemptions do not represent children. Even though on the worksheet it asks the question, how many children do you have? You can claim if you have 2 children, claim 2 exemptions. That's just so that you will have less taken out of your check to compensate for their needs. But that exemptions, it was a catch-22. They set it up that way on the worksheet to make people think in their mind that because I claim a certain amount of exemptions, that's the amount of dependents that I'm claiming. No, that's just the worksheet on the top of the W-4. Actually, on your on your W-4, you don't even have to fill out that top part. It says right at the top of it, worksheet. This is the tax bracket that you want to be categorized. When you claim 0 to 1 exemptions, and this is the best way to do it, during the months of March, April, May, June, and July, and August. See, you want to render that unto Caesar that which is Caesar. So you want to give the government, if you claim 0 on your exemptions, you're saying that you want to be in a 15 to 20% tax bracket. You want 15 to 20% of your paycheck withheld in that IRS account via your Social Security account number, to be withheld until January the 15th. That's when you're legally allowed to withdraw that which is withheld. You got to think of the IRS like a Christmas saving club.
Good comparison.
When you think of the IRS as a Christmas saving club, you will understand that you can't touch your money until that 12 months have rolled over, or the 12 months have gone by. So if you put yourself in the 20% to 15%, 0 represents about 15 to 20, 1 represents anywhere from 10 to 15% that you want taken out of your paycheck and withheld in that IRS account. The reason why I say do it during the months of March, April, May, June, July, and August is because January, you're just getting over the holidays, and 9 times out of 10 you have a bill that you have to pay. So you don't want anything to be taken out that you cannot pay your bill. And plus, during January, February, March, you're filing your income tax return as well. Now, I'm going to get on that, I got to get in detail about that. But, I just say during those months, you don't have to claim 0 or 1. You can claim a lower tax bracket because during that time, you don't want the full scale of taxes to be withheld from your paycheck. So you want at least 6 months. If you do it for 6 months, claim 0 or 1. For those 6 months, the IRS should have taken out 20 to 15% if you're claiming 0 exemptions, or 10 to 15% of your paycheck by that time. So if you made like $24,000 a year, during that time, $2,400 should have been withheld. If not, look at your paycheck. If you start doing that in March, look in your paycheck in April, your paycheck stub, and find out exactly how much taxes have been withheld. If it was not anywhere between 10 and 20% of your taxes, you either need to, 1, go back to Human Resources and find out if you have checked the right withholding box. Did you check single? Did you check married? If you married, did you check married but withhold at a greater single rate, depending on it? Or you might have to adjust it for them to withhold maybe 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 more dollars to get all of that money withheld, that 10 to 20% withheld of your annual paycheck during those 6 months. Then the rest of the,
And also make a comment that you have people that want and need their money held for them. And
exactly.
Then you have, and then you have people that feel like, you know what, I need that extra money every single pay period. Every single pay period.
And
but for those,
and for those who do need that money every single pay period, we do understand.
Mhm.
However, that's where you really want to be strategic and have strategic planning during tax season.
Right.
You want to do something to offset that which is being held.
Right.
So if you claim for more exemptions, or you telling the government, I need all my money during all my paycheck, you cannot take a dime from my paycheck. I am so sorry, but I need it because my expenses are high.
Mhm.
You're going to have to strategically do something else to offset that. Either get another job, which they
Mhm.
can withhold that, a
Mhm.
part-time job,
Mhm.
or you're going to have to invest. I don't
Mm.
have the money to invest. Okay, I understand that as well.
Mhm.
Or you're going to have to start a business. Well, I don't know how to start a business. I don't know what in the world. Well, you're going to maybe have to start a nonprofit organization,
Mhm.
or a club.
Mhm.
Because
So
I'm
they.
quite sure, even though all of your money that's being withheld and you need every dime,
Mhm.
you have to look at yourself truthfully.
Right.
What is all that money going to?
Right.
If you are a shopaholic,
Mm.
you can't say amen, say ouch. If
That's
you
right.
are a shopaholic, then start a shoppers club or organization.
Mm.
The IRS does not charge anything for a nonprofit tax ID number.
Mhm.
And you can get a nonprofit tax ID number and start your organization or a
Mm.
club. How do you
Mhm.
think scrapbook clubs came along, and book clubs come along, and red hat clubs come along?
Mm.
Because you now have to strategically plan a way to offset that when it comes to your taxes. Because the government is going to want to know what you spent all that money on if you say you need, or you can't pay us. The Bible, Jesus said, they asked Jesus, is it lawful to pay taxes? They were saying that to see what he would say. And he said, does anyone have a coin? And they say, yeah. And he said, well, whose face is on the coin? They say Caesar's. He said, okay, give Caesar what is Caesar's and give God which is God. Now, God is the strategy and the strategic planning of training your money to eventually work for you. Because God deals in practical living.
Mhm.
Caesar wants to deal in give me me.
Mhm.
So even though you give Caesar theirs, you still have to live.
Right.
So in order to live, you have to plan strategically, where am I spending my money? What am I doing to keep track of my money? And what else can I do in order to safeguard my money where it no longer is buried in the hole or buried? Because one thing about it, it's not your money, it's God's money.
Mm.
Because the Bible even said that, I love the parable about the talents, where he's saying, he gave one talent, one 2 talents, and one 3 talents. I mean, I'm sorry, he gave one 5 talent, one 2 talents, and one he gave the one. So you got to know that the one that he only gave one, and the Bible said that he was given the talent according to their ability.
Mhm.
Now, the one he gave the one, he went out and buried the talent. And because he buried the master's money and did not do anything with the money, he did not show any increase to the money. The master said, cast that man into outer darkness,
Mhm.
you evil worker of iniquity. You evil servant. He called him evil. Because God, if we're going to have his money, he's going to want us to show increase, not only to give back, but in order to work the kingdom.
Mhm.
So that's why you want to, um, if you can't do, if you want to pay back at the end of tax season, then you claim 4 more exemptions stating that I want to not have anything withheld. And if you
Okay.
don't want to have anything withheld and you want all your money, then you're going to have to strategically do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you change your exemptions, you would change your take-home pay. The higher the exemption you, shall I say, the higher the exemption you claim, the more you take home. The lower exemption you claim, the less you take home, and more is saved for you on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth building, that goes into the giving of the talents or the servant. Another thing you can do, you can invest. This is where you send your money to school. Now, you can send your money to a bank, which is like a public school system, in the worst area that you can send.
Mm-hmm.
So when you send your money to a savings account, they're going to give you maybe 12%, a point, 0.12%.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 1% that you will be saving.
Okay.
Now, if you take your money and put it in a brokerage savings account, you'll get 0.75%.
Big difference. World of difference.
You see what I'm saying? So you're saving. See, bank accounts were never set up for wealth. Let me say that one more time. Bank accounts were never set up for wealth. Bank accounts have happened when slavery ended and equal rights came about. Bank accounts, because we were not allowed to put our money in their institution and they were trading on the stock market and stuff like that. They were doing treasury bills because we could not invest our money where they had their money. You had the whites and the black back then. Then they created okay, well, if they want to go ahead and put their money up, let them go ahead and put their money in that right there. In the meantime, what they were doing was taking our money or the slaves' money out of the back door and invested it in their mutual fund, their treasury bill, their bonds, and their stocks. They were getting the interest, which is a higher rate, and giving us the lower rate. Or, yeah. Even if, right. I mean, even if you say, well, I have my money in a credit union. I researched this. Credit unions are the same thing as banks. The only difference is the regular bank account is like you going into, hold on. The regular bank account is like you're going into like the Wells Fargo's or whatever. The credit union is saying you're in the same public school system, but you're on the upside or the suburban side versus the project side. It's still the same. It's still a public school. You know what I'm saying? You might get more candy, more suckers. That's why they used to give out suckers to let you know you're a sucker for putting your money here. Seriously, that's why they used to. They used to give out. You see, most banks don't give suckers anymore because that's right. You're putting your money where we're going to actually capitalize off the interest of your money, and we're going to give you what we want you to have. So while they're making the 0.7%, they're only giving you the 1%. Now CDs, well, suppose I have a CD. CDs is a little bit better if you see by the chart. You can get anywhere from a bank CD anywhere from 0.3 to 0.8% off of a CD. Our suggestion is through our brokerage firm is anywhere from 0.40 to 0.90%.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of people feel that, okay, well, you know, the stock market might crash, I'll lose all my money. Well, you don't have to invest all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
So
Diverse.
therefore, if one stock is doing not so good, you can have stocks and other things that are well known and are advancing better.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can yield anywhere from 12%, not 0.12, but you can yield anywhere from 12% on up, depending on the commodity that you choose to invest in.
Mm.
Again, like I said, not 0.12, but 12%.
That's awesome.
So that's one thing we teach in training is not only that you invest, but how you can invest. Well, I'm broke. I don't have any money. I need all my money from my paycheck. Remember, I don't have any money. Remember? You remember they said that, you know. That's what they said, Fontanya, that they don't have any money to invest.
That's what they said.
Okay. Well, we're going to tell you how to invest without a dime coming from your paycheck. How many would love that? How many would love to know I can put my money in one of these financial institutions that gives me 12% on up, and I don't have to pull from my pocket?
If we can only see the show of hands.
There's one. Okay. Here is the suggestion. First of all, we have to change the way we think about tax filing our returns. We have to change. We cannot spend the tax money before we get it. Let me say that again. We cannot spend the tax money before we even get the tax money. And that's where the error comes in. We have had the house purchase, the cars purchased, the trips already laid out.
Mm-hmm.
But we have nothing to fall back on. That's where you allot a portion of your income tax to go into your brokerage account or your investment, your stock, your bond. Well, I have a 401k at my job. Fontanya, is anyone's job guaranteed?
Not at all, and neither are those 401ks.
You see what I'm saying? Because say your job has a massive layoff. I think about a lot of plants that closed, and people were out of jobs, and they end up getting their 401ks out. Then their 401ks, because it wasn't mature. See, there's a reason why they use the word mature for your money.
Yeah.
See, money has to get right. Your money has to grow and it has to mature in order for it to work for you. So because it wasn't matured and you took that money out and now you have to live off that money because now that job has given you their severance pay and say, oh, well, thank you for your service. Goodbye. Have a nice life. Now you're out in the cold. Number one, most people who take their 401k out, they look at it as that though they won the lottery. Now you're in a danger because you have to file taxes on it. They're going to penalize you, not with a percentage, but a flat rate as well, especially if you're not 65 and retired.
I've experienced that 10 years ago.
You see what I'm saying? So
they
now,
right.
So now you got, you think you won the jackpot, so let's go pay off some bills and everything, and now you're running in danger of causing more harm than good during your tax filing season. Let me help you on how you could have avoided that. Number one, you don't want your 401k at where you work. You don't want your 401k through your job. You want to do that on your own. And you don't want to do it with a bank. Remember, a bank is a public school. That's why you see them on every corner. You see, wealthy people send their children to boarding school overseas somewhere. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They send their children away for the best education that money can buy.
So that they can mature?
Mature. That's correct. Not only mature, but learn how to grow. Learn the accolades of wealth.
Mm.
They send their money to, shall I say, they send their children to boarding school to learn wealth etiquette.
Mm. And you know, I would also go as far to say that they're taking their seed and planting it.
That is correct.
Mm.
That is correct. They not only are sending their children to learn etiquettes of wealth, but they're teaching them about different financial institutions, how to invest, how to act wealthy, how to think and grow wealth, how to act when you go to a dinner party or a what do they call those things when they have to go bid on something? One of those dinner
Functions and
those functions, those galas, those balls. See, all of those are tax write-off. They're getting money off of those things because it's an organization.
Right.
They're not just buying a plate; they're investing. That plate is $100 not because of the food. It's $100 because of what they're investing into. What is the gala for?
Wow.
So it's an investment. It's a way that we can all come together, write off our nice jewels, because those jewels that the wealthy wear have been an investment. That's why they keep them in a safe or a safe deposit box, which is a write-off. Because anything that is of value is a tax write-off. That Van Gogh painting is not worth $1 million just because it was painted by Van Gogh. No, it's worth $1 million because of what the insurance they put on it to safeguard that, okay, it was painted by Van Gogh. Insurance creates wealth.
And all that's on the tax forms as well. They're asking if you have insurance and what type of insurance.
Yes, they even ask about investment. What type of investment? What did you invest on? I mean, because see, when you go to places just to give your W-2 or your unemployment form or your 1099 form, they're only going to go into those documentation or those forms. There are hundreds of other forms that are used that you never see, because if you don't know where to look, you don't know what you are to file. So just like the investments, they got a form Schedule D, a form Schedule B, and those are for investments. And that's what we do. We train you, we teach you not only on preparing your taxes, but we train you and teach you on the different forms and the different institution that you can send your money so that it can mature and one day take care of you. Wealthy people do not rely on Social Security. Wealthy people do not rely on insurance for burial. See, the things that we have and the vehicles and the tools that they give us are not ever to create wealth. And when I say us, I mean those who do not know or have their money in the institution that will build and teach and train the money on how to work for you. Train your money child to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to definitely learn how to or where to send your money child. And I say money child because, like I said, look at your money as a child. If you want the best for your money, if you want the best for your child, you send them to the best. So that's brokerage account, but that's learning and training as well.
Very good point. Very good point.
Business building. Okay, again, with your Schedule A or with your home office, especially if you don't have a business or a nonprofit organization, you will I think I spelled Warren Buffett names wrong. No, I had it right. But you want to offset that, especially if you need every dime of your paycheck. How do you offset it? You have to start a business, an organization, a club, a nonprofit, or something. I use Warren Buffett as an example. Warren Buffett is a billionaire who made his billions off of other established businesses. So, for instance, if you don't have the money to join certain things that we will offer as business opportunities, if you don't have the money to do that, I suggest that right now you get in your mind to set aside $1,200 from your refund, your income tax. If not, set aside at least 10% of your refund. And during our training class, we will teach you what institution to send that to. Because what you want to do, you want to stack your money. Remember, at the beginning of this webinar, I informed you all that the financial institution, Wall Street, the government, things are going to be totally different in 2017. Totally different in 2017. So you want to make preparation now so that at least you can be close to class 1 and not class 3. Class 3 is going to be the impoverished. Class 3, you ever watched a movie where, how can I say it? The movie where it's like they are renegades and they live underground. And I'm not going to say that it's going to be that bad, but that's where it's heading. Middle class is going to be obsolete. There's going to, and if you don't understand that that middle class is going to be obsolete, look at how the world is now. Technically, there's no middle class already. Because with a lot of the homes going on in foreclosure, they either were afforded the bailout to save their homes, or they lost their homes. A lot of people became homeless. Now, if you tell me if there were middle class, then why didn't everybody get their home out of foreclosure? Why are there so many abandoned homes? Why are the homelessness and has risen since 2008? Why are they making it harder for people to get food stamps and Social Security and Medicaid?
Doing away with it, I would think.
Exactly. Because if you're already under the government can now do what they want to with you. So we have to start now. If we're going to start, we have to start now.
So no flat screen TV. It sounds like when you get that tax refund, just no big screen TV this time around. That $1,000, that's a seed that needs to be sown. That's some good
So
information.
that's a seed that, and a lot of people, unfortunately, they have the invincibility syndrome where it won't happen to me. This won't happen to me, or I'm set. There have been people who were millionaires who are homeless now. So you can't say that it won't happen to you, or that's why we're trying to get some type of safety net in place so you will know what to do. Now, again, I say take for instance the Warren Buffett. He invested into businesses that were already established. He played the New York Stock Exchange for everything that he could play it for, and he actually was awarded for his efforts. Can everybody still hear me, see me? Everyone can still hear me, see me? Okay, is everyone still back on? Testing, okay. Okay. Okay, so remember, you can actually start you can actually start a brokerage account with no money. You can actually open up a brokerage account for free, and a brokerage account, it actually is split into two parts. One is called your cash account, and the cash account, it really doesn't give that much of interest. It doesn't pay that much interest, but what it acts as a holding account until you can actually invest in the amount that you would like to invest. Another thing, work your gift or your passion. If you have a passion in cooking and investing, cooking or some type of hobby, then work that. Okay? If you don't have a hobby, start one. Start a well, they don't list it as a hobby anymore. They call it a not-for-profit type of entity. So start a hobby. That's how most businesses are created, through a hobby. So you're more than just standard. You know, the government will give you a standard deduction. That means, say if you made $100,000, the standard deduction is about 15,000. So if you made $100,000, a $15,000 standard deduction really isn't going to put a dent in your pocket. So you definitely want to itemize. And what you want to do eventually is build your business enough where you can actually publicly trade on Wall Street or join publicly traded uh, entities on Wall Street. And that's why the bailout was necessary. That's why bailing out Wall Street was the first business on the agenda by President Obama, because once you bail out the financial institution, you actually bail out the government as well. Now, what's membership? Why should you be a member of the Winning with Wealth team? Well, membership has its benefits. Being a member, you have the opportunity to invest in established businesses without paying startup costs, where you don't have to actually come out your pocket with the whole shebang. I mean, think about it. If you would want to go and get a McDonald's franchise, that's a good, nice 150,000 probably minimum. And I'm probably, it might be $1 million. Doesn't tell them, but you're going to have to pay out the pocket if you want to get like a franchise, or if you want to start your own business, because proper business planning takes 12 months. Let me say that again. Don't get the idea of starting a business tonight and then go out and try to start it tomorrow. No, you need at least 12 months to properly research and plan a business. I mean, from demographics to research to polling your customers or your clientele. You have at least 1 year to do that. But during that year, the government, because you are in your planning stage, it still is a tax write-off for research. You can still write off research and planning on your business, because if you start a business, a nonprofit organization or whatever, you do have 5 years to file a loss. So you can file a loss for 5 years. So, but we're going to offer you investment opportunities where you won't have to pay startup costs. You won't have to pay all of that at once. You won't have to go and mortgage your house and get $1 million loan, XYZ and stuff like that. No, we're going to work with you.
You know what else, Rhonda?
Go ahead.
I learned that in doing a little bit of research that the McDonald's franchise fee, just the franchise fee itself, up front, is $45,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
$45,000. Do you all hear that? $45,000.
Yeah, that's the fee. That's to be involved and be in a position to profit. And technically speaking, you're buying a job when you're talking about that. So just thought about that one tip, and this being offered in the membership is phenomenal.
And that's why membership has benefits, because you're not just going to get a plethora full of information. You're going to have access, and you're going to have a network of people that you can go to that you wouldn't otherwise have access to, and you will be able to do things that you may not otherwise have access to. You may be able to advertise in ways that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. All of that will come in the network and connections that we have, that membership would have to offer. So that's why you would want to become a member. Also, you'll be listed in the Winning with Wealth Empowerment Team Network directory. This is where you see different businesses. Fontanya, like I said, her businesses will be listed. She also has her own radio show. I have my own television show. There are other different entities. We have a film school connection. We also have reality show connections. We have different connections, doctor connections. We have different connections that you will be accessible to without having to do the footwork yourself.
That's the key word, access. Access. It means nothing to say, you know, I'm going to this concert and so many others show up, but for you to be able to have that VIP access to go backstage.
VIP, that's right.
To get that benefit right there. It separates you from everybody else. That game access is invaluable. There is no way there's no way to even just begin to say just the value of what that is, to be able to have the opportunity to say, you know what, I know somebody. I got people.
And not only that, Fontanya, you can go out and do it on your own, but you don't have the understanding if you don't have the network. For instance, Fontanya and I, we've been in business over 19 years ourselves individually. But when we got together, that was a more of an explosive, dunamis type thing. You know, even Jesus, when he sent out the disciples, he said, I send you out 2 by 2. So, you know, collectively, look at them. Jesus could have walked the earth by himself. He could have walked by himself. But instead, he chose 12 to walk with him. So he can pour into them and look at the conglomeration that has come from over 2,000 years of his networking.
And another awesome thing when I think about it is I've walked the walk that I've walked these last near 20 years in what it is that I do. So all of the financial investment that I've made in my personal education, advanced education, licensing, certification, college, whatever the case might be, versus the next person that has walked in what they do and what they've invested into it, it's sort of like getting, if I can even begin to give a parallel to what it is equivalent or similar to, it's like orange juice. When you get the product, it's just what it is. It's good. It's sweet. You know, let's just put it in the refrigerator. Let's pour and let's just drink. Bottoms up.
Right.
But when you think about what went into making that orange juice, how many oranges that had to grow for a period of time under certain conditions, and at that point, you know, come to a place where there are so many more of them, and they're under intense process, brought together. I mean, it is such a phenomenal thing to be in a position to take advantage of something that you gain access to what someone might have had to walk 20 years to get to, where you become accessible to be in that space, in that time, at that moment, and have that support. I am glad to be a part of it, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a little jealous, and I know that ain't right, but I'm a little jealous because there's so many things that we've had to go through, to fall, you know, to lose out on, and to be set back with to get to where we are. It's a blessing to be able to offer it, though, and to be in this position to be a part of something where the next person doesn't have to go through all that.
Shoot, I'm jealous too because I mean I think about like you and I we're technically twins. You might as well say we're Siamese twins
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean if you just take alone what Fontanya has gone through, what I've gone through, the monies I can say over those 19 years we probably literally
Oh my
spent
goodness.
millions to
Oh my
acquire this
goodness.
knowledge. And if I could have had that one-stop shop
Yes. Oh
where
my
you know what I'm
goodness.
saying?
Oh
Where
my goodness.
if I could have had the opportunity or was afforded the
Mhm.
opportunity
Mhm.
to get into a business that had access to everything. I mean, because
What if
that's
things get
why
random?
I mean, think about it. I mean, that's why Amway was so
Powerful.
powerful because
Mhm.
Amway gave the people access to everything. That's why Melaleuca is so powerful because
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
give access to everything. But one thing,
Mhm.
what we do as members here, we're even going above and beyond that because
Yeah.
we give you resources. When I say everything, literally that means everything.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
we give you the access that Father God gives you the access to.
Mhm.
And you don't
Mhm.
have to go out and toil. You don't have to go out and blood, sweat, and tears. You
To
could just
figure it out.
be right. You can be a member and say, I need this. If you don't know how to get to the directory, you can go and instant Fontanya, instant message myself, and
Mhm.
actually say, I need access to this. I need this. I
Mhm.
need this.
Mhm.
And that way, boom, you're right in there.
Wow.
You're right in there. You'll get software and product coaching and training. You will get documents, forms, and training. You get discounts for all the businesses listed in the network.
Awesome.
And for all those who were ticket purchasers, guess what? Okay, this is the big thing. If you purchase your ticket tonight, depending on what membership level you want to get involved with, we're going to actually, Fontaine, you want me to tell him? Like,
Drum roll. Drum
drum
roll.
roll, drum roll. The price of the ticket will be taken off of your membership.
Wow.
Let me say
You
it
just
again.
spoiling
That's
them,
the
Rhonda.
big
You just
thing.
spoiling them, Rhonda.
I know,
Just
I
spoiling
know.
them.
I'm hurting them. I'm hurting them. So the price of the membership will be taken off of, shall I say, the ticket price will be subtracted from the membership. So yes, you will get a discount signing up for membership tonight. Tonight.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Um, Also, guess what? For those of you who are in business or is going to have, that's one thing we do here as being a member. If you become a member or when you become a member, we will help you set up your Facebook pages, your websites.
That's
So
good.
you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know how to build a website. I don't know what to do. I don't
Beautiful.
know. We will actually help you with that.
Wow. That's awesome. When you think about the businesses that are really working very, very hard. I have nothing against hard work, but I'm all for working smarter because there's only
Exactly.
one you. So when you exhaust yourself, what do you do there? But at that point, you have to get to a place of duplicating yourself. You have to get to a place of being able um, to not work as hard and work smart. And the
Exactly.
whole automation of website, a lot of people sometimes are against it, and I do fine, I do well. To me, at this point of the juncture where we're at in just such a technologically advanced time, you're not in business fully unless you have a website going for yourself. And you
Exactly.
not like Facebook, you not like any social network, but you've got, it's not about what we like or what our preference is, but if you're in business, then we have to go along with the stream of what would bring in wealth. The whole purpose of being in business is to create wealth.
Exactly. So we will, help you set up your website, your Facebook page, and we will also help maintain it as well.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
that will, if you want to be trained to do it, there's some people who are just not technically savvy. I don't know how to set it up. I don't want to run it. I don't want to do anything. I just want it to flow. Okay, we understand that. That's one thing membership will bring you, that we will help with the maintenance thereof as well, because I love technology. I love, I love to do stuff like that.
So do I.
Yeah, so you got
You're
Fontana
further
and
in it than
myself.
I am.
Exactly. We'll go ahead and get that set up and maintained. So I got some pictures I want you to put on the website. We do that, and that all will be in your membership package, depending on what level you want to come in at. Also, you will have ultimate connections to resources. Again, we can't stress resources. A lot of people go out here, and I think of myself having to look for stuff, having to look for things. And some people just don't have the time to do the footwork. Some people just don't have the time to go out and find out where they can get the best deal on a pair of pants, or they don't have time to find out, okay, I want to advertise my business, but I don't understand advertising and how it work, and I need a radio spot, or I need a television spot. They don't know how to how to go about doing that. And that's one thing that we do. So we will give you ultimate connections to that. I don't know what business I should invest in. I don't know what stock I need to, invest in. Well, we're not going to give you any insider trading, but we will, let you know, offer you, explain how to set up your portfolio. We will do a portfolio analysis for you that will offer which would be the best for you. And that's one thing about investing. You can always change your mind. You don't have to be locked in. A lot of people think, well, if I invest my money, I'm locked in for life. No, 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 no. And also, if you lose anything in the stock market, that's a tax. Your loss is a tax write-off as well. And a lot of people don't understand that their losses are tax. Even gambling losses are a tax write-off. Say you go and buy some scratch-offs, and you don't hit anything on those scratch-offs. Save the tickets. That's a receipt. That's showing you I spent $20 every week on scratch-offs. Okay, and nothing came. Okay, that $20 is a tax write-off. So that's a receipt. And then we're going to give you an entry for a $100 Visa gift card drawing. So you will get an entry on that as well.
They're spoiled.
Okay, these are your membership level. So we're going to go over that right now. A FO is called a franchise owner. And that's to include, and now what you say the franchise fees alone for McDonald's?
$45,000. That's
Okay.
the franchise fee.
And that's up front, didn't you say?
Yes, it is.
So they have to pay that up front before they even consider getting a McDonald's?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. Well, we're not going to charge that, not up front. And they don't give you all coaching. They pretty much, anyway, you better learn your restaurant business or something, or find somebody to know some restaurant business or something like that, because not all McDonald's franchises are successful McDonald's franchises. If it wasn't for the name McDonald's, they would probably not have any customers whatsoever. So the FO is your franchise ownership level. That will include your coaching, training, team network discounts and resources, affiliate program, investment portfolio analysis, no hand holding after training. In essence, most people who become franchise owners, and after we give the coaching and the training, and once we get that in you and instilled in you, we technically really won't have to hold your hand. Because we feel that if you want to be a franchise owner, you're pretty much self-sufficient anyway.
That's
So we're
right.
going to give you everything. Not that you can't contact us. You still be
Right.
able to contact us, of course. You're a member. You know, but you will have the freeness to make disciples of others.
Hmm. Duplicate yourself. That's right.
Exactly. You have the opportunity to duplicate yourself. I mean, you
Hmm.
might want to prepare taxes. That's a good, quick way to gain um, a substantial amount of money up front. You know, having your own tax preparation business. We'll
Hmm.
teach you, train you, and tell you where the classes are and what to do, and explain everything for you there. Also, you might want to be a franchise owner trainee. That's a FOT. And of course, you get the coaching trainer for ownership, along with the team network discounts and resources, uh, investment portfolio. Now, and then we will be with you step by step to provide 12 months of one-to-one coaching each month. So each month, you will get to sit down with us one-to-one to kind of pick your brain. The meetings, the executive sessions, and Fontanya, I'm gonna let her, jump in anything else that she can add on these two membership opportunities before we go into the next one.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make mention of and I'm all for simplifying things in a way that your average person can see it off the bat, and that's why me and Rhonda just really just you know take to one another, because in that sense we understand how important it is. I'm just going to paint a real quick picture. Let's just take, for instance, the coaching and training. That alone, when you're talking about business coaching and training, several years ago when I was looking into getting a business coach for myself, and in essence, that's what that is. That's what this is. This was a person who was sweet and dear, and I'm sure that she knew what she knew, and you know, and had her business established and all. And the annual, we're talking about 12 months, step by step. That right there alone, that she was offering to me in a general format, uh, was going to cost me $7,500 for the year.
Wow.
And it did not include much of anything. There was no real strength behind what they were going to offer in terms of, the strength of their own knowledge, and just being able to feel good and knowing that it was specifics, that were involved. This was a general business coaching type of thing going on. And again, $7,500 was the annual fee.
Wow.
And that was kind of like a deal. And it just, I just thought of that because when you're talking about, let's just say FOT, franchise owner trainee, coaching and training, right there, you're already at $3,500 in that sense.
Right.
Okay. And then you go on, there was no discounts. There were no, affiliate program, investment portfolio. That in itself is a financial assistance package. The investment portfolio analysis alone sets you apart and positions you, let's say in the event that you're talking about possibly taking out loans, or you want someone to actually partner with you in the business. It sets you apart in such a way that you are reputable and you're being taken seriously. That alone is a major, major cost up front and throughout in any event where you have to meet with someone for that. I just think that it's just phenomenal. I always think like a consumer slash customer first. And even though I'm a coach and I do what I do, and this is something that uh, I'm excited about just being a part of, I am still, as a average person, blown away with the value that that a member gets in being involved in something like this. It's so powerful. It is so tremendous. And I just want for whoever's watching this webinar to understand in dollar language what all is being offered and what is not. going to be expected of you. Yeah.
Exactly, because now we're actually this is a special. This is an introductory special. We're not guaranteed you that the when we show you these membership prices, that it's going to be the same next year. You know, because like I said, next year we're in 2015 next year. You know, and that's the time we got to grind. That's the time we got to get on our stack and start stacking for wealth. That's all of us. So each member will have access and opportunity to get on board to start generating a plethora full of wealth information to not be caught up in the class threes come 2017.
And none of this is about walking away from what you're currently doing. None of this is about turning your back on the job that you love, and this is far from what that is.
No, this is to help. Right, this is to help you capitalize on what you're doing.
Exactly. When you think about a tree, you never see a tree that's just
one branch.
The one stump all the way up. The one stump all the way up with no branches. It reaches its full capacity, its full ability to be able to get all it can receive, and even be in a position to cover and to protect other things, and even become a place where it can be a home to others. In order to have that, be in that type of a position, there are branches all throughout that tree, high and low, and if a branch breaks, you really don't notice. It's not that big of a deal because you got all these other branches going on. We're not suggesting that you get off into 50 different things, but you want to consider streams of income and think about it. If there's income coming from each one of these branches, what is it to have 5 and 7 of them? What is the negative to have more than one?
Exactly.
When they're all bringing you in income.
Exactly.
When you're trained, you got the coaching, you have where you can still touch bases and reach out and still be able to connect, and to be able to just the investment portfolio, just to be able to actually go over that. I mean, you're in the best possible position. A lot of times we're afraid of what we don't know. And to get the knowledge and the understanding, put you in a position where you are empowered. You're no longer, you went from one mind frame to another. And where the mind goes, the man follows.
Exactly. And Fontanya made a very enlightening point that was happening to be on our next slide. Is the only fear that you the only fear that you can only fear that what you know nothing about. And that's where we come in. We've both been in different type of organizations and multi-level marketing groups and things where, once they got the initial training, oh, well, you were on your own. You were on your own to get clients. You were on your own to get customers. There was no network there. You had to, go out and get you your people, go out and get you your 3 or your 12 or however many you had to get. And, that kind of left, I know it left me out in the cold because I was like, okay, once my warm market was exhausted, it was like, okay, now who I go to and how do I approach these people and what would be the best? You got to understand that wealth requires meetings. Let me say that one more time. If you want to be wealthy, it requires meetings. Wealthy people have meetings every day. Think of lawyers. Think of CEO operatives. Think of Wall Street. Think of billionaires. Think of millionaires. They have meetings daily, sometimes more than once or twice a day. And where they meet on the golf course, they meet at the country club. They have a meeting, regardless of where they're going. They're going to meet. Well, meet me at 12 for tea. Meet me meet me at the pool. My daughter's got track meet. Meet me at the track meet. So they're meeting constantly. And that's one thing we want to afford you is meeting. Well, I don't have time for meeting. Well, you don't have time to be wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Because
of time.
wealthy people meet all the time. Why do
That's
you
right.
think there are camera phones now? If they can't meet in person, they meeting over the phone.
Yeah. There's different ways now. Before there was a physical meeting, and then you had three-way call, and then you have the conference call, and
Skype.
you know,
That's how
it
Skype and
has.
everything. Right.
Yes, it has gotten to the point now where there's no reason. If there was no gain and no sensibility in having these meetings, things would not be set up the way that they are now. We look at them just, just your average person probably looks at things, let's just say Facebook or, just social media overall as just a means of connecting with other people and just, saying hi to family and friends. When you're in the mind frame of making money, income, profiting, then you have to think in terms of, I need to stay connected to that. There's a mind frame of an employee. They just want to clock in and clock out. Praise God for them. And then there's a mind frame of business-minded people that understand that they're doing what few people want to do, and it's requiring them to be connected on a regular basis. And what comes out of it, the rewards are tremendous. I mean, people have had meetings in their basements, in their garages, over like the dining room table,
Exactly.
during their lunch hour. I mean,
Exactly.
at their regular job. You cannot expect to get different, gain different, and you're doing the same thing. You're going to have to get into a rhythm of doing what successful people are doing.
Again, we're not here to refute what you know or what you may have learned already. That's not what we're here to do. We're
right.
here to offer icing to that cake, or gravy to those potatoes, or gravy to those that rice. What you have is what you have. We're not here to
That's right.
refute it. We're not here to tear it down.
Thank
We're
you
here
for
to
it.
capitalize and build upon it, because that's your foundation. We're here to tweak some stumps or some studs in your foundation to make sure they hold firm and fast, and then you'll be able to actually grow and mature in that area.
That's right.
It's not
That's
the
right.
point of what you're doing is doing wrong. It's
Right.
can it be done better?
That's right.
Everything
And we have to
that's
be
anything
honest.
right can be anything that's everything can be upgraded.
That's right. That I was going to make that point, Rhonda. We've got to be honest with where we're at. We have so many angry people now, so many more situations of violence now, because we live in the time where people are a lot more angry. They're a lot more frustrated. They feel a lot more oppressed. And you have to understand, a lot of times, a lot of their problems stem from a lack.
Exactly.
The lack.
Exactly.
Not being able to go and let the stress off and take a vacation. Not being able to
Right.
say, I don't want to work overtime.
Right.
Not actually having the option to say, I want another car.
I need
I
another
need
stream
another
of
car.
income. Like I said, that
Exactly.
$200-300 extra per month. That, hey, wow. And we're not asking you to go out and sell no product unless that's what you want to do.
That's right.
We're just saying there are ways that okay, Fontana, I love this story, and I have to tell it here. All right. Anybody who knows their Bible, anyone who's a believer, know that Jesus told Peter to cast his net on the other side of the boat. And Peter started complaining, look, I've been out here all day long. I've already done that. I hadn't caught anything. Jesus said, I know you've been out here all day long. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you capitalize on that which you've already been doing. I just want you to do it in a different style now. Or I'm just going to show you a different way to utilize the same. Jesus did not tell Peter to go out and get another boat. He did not tell him to go out and get another net. He did not tell him to go out and get another crew. He didn't even tell him to move the boat from the place that it was. Mm-hmm. He just told him to take the net from the left side and cast it on the right side. Mm-hmm. He did not tell him to go get nothing new. He didn't even tell him to go get a new net. He did not tell Peter to do anything but one different thing.
And it made all the
And
difference.
it made all the difference. It made
I'ma
so
tell you.
much different that the net broke.
That's how I felt when I got this information, and my tax return went from $3,100 to nearly $14,000.
Wow.
All it was
I'm
the
talking about.
same boat, the same net, the same time of day, the same location. It was the difference was the information, the
Exactly.
knowledge.
Exactly.
Made the
Exactly.
world of difference for me. I was sold.
And it could have been just Peter's attitude that needed changing. He
Yeah,
could have been
yeah.
frustrating the fish. Maybe Peter always is on that side. Oh, we out here all day long. Oh, ain't no fish coming. So if it's not a matter of changing the room around. You see, sometimes you don't need to buy another house. Sometimes you just need to rearrange the furniture. It'll give you a different feel, just like feng shui. That feng shui, you're getting a different energy from it. So if it's nothing but, okay, let me take what I got and just move it to the other corner of the boat. Move it on the other side of the boat. Let me move it on the other side of the room. Let me start using my left side of the brain and using my right side. So it's not a matter of you got to spend all this outlandish type of money. It's just probably just a point of let me get help. We have not because we ask not. Ask and you shall receive that your joy may be complete. And instead of going to school yourself, instead of passing tests, instead of going out here reading all these chapters after chapters after chapters, you got people like myself and Fontana who were willing to share the wealth of information that we spent time, attention, sacrifice, family, everything for. If you didn't read, I'm going to let, I think Fontana told a little bit about herself, but the reason why I had been preparing, I've been preparing taxes for about 10 years before I went back to school. Because my frustration was about people getting their tax money and ending up broke 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line. And it frustrated me. It frustrated me to the point of, why are you relying on your tax money to sustain your life? This was ludicrous. So I said, I have to be able to give more information. What did I do? So I went back to school in 2004 and got my master's in marketing. Because I was like, okay, it's either my business, I'm not marketing, and I learned different tips on how to acquire clients and customers. Okay, so that was doing well, but still it wasn't doing well enough for the clients. They were still getting their tax returns, and it's all gone in 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, all right. So when I was right upon graduation, the school offered me a dual mastership. That instead of getting another master's, you're going to get 2 in 1. So I went back and got a dual master's in accounting and finance. So I was like, okay, this is what I need. Because now I have a dual master's, not only when I prepare taxes, but I also have it in finance to help them with investment solutions. Wow. And that's why I went back to school. It wasn't for myself.
Phenomenal.
It was for my clients and my customers, and now it's for you members and your membership. I mean, just go ahead.
So to make a point, we don't even want to discuss how much you had to invest in yourself to obtain that, and to be in a position to literally package it in such a way where it's simple, and they get it almost instantly.
Well, I'll give anybody the opportunity to pay off my financial loan. Hey, if y'all can either sign up for membership, or hey, you can go ahead and pay off my financial. But we just got, we have 5 levels of membership. And of course, you saw the first two, the FO, the franchise owner, and the FOT, the franchise owner trainee. But we also have some regular VIP membership. We have a VIP team member, and you'll get monthly coaching. We're going to help you with monthly meetings. We're not going to see Fontanya and I will meet every day for you. We're going to give you information in a monthly meeting that should help you cast that net on that other side and what to expect when you do. You'll have resources and discount, not only in our other businesses, but, in the network of businesses that are on our team. Then you have the deluxe team membership, where you will get discounts and resources and special surprises. You won't get the monthly coaching unless you upgrade to the VIP or the franchise trainee or the franchise owner. Now that's where we are really going to generate, the plethora of wealth, because we're going to meet, those. That's like the executive. How can I say, the executive session, where we go into the boardroom on that. Certain people don't have access to the boardroom until they get access to the boardroom. So that, and also we have a gold team membership, where you will still get resources and discounts and special surprises at a gold team member. And all of these you can always upgrade on that. This is basically our membership prices and how you can pay. This is tremendously discounted. This is our introductory membership that we're giving to you. It's not to say that it's going to be this way next month, the month after that, the month after that. This is just a special that we're running because we want to help you acquire as much knowledge as you can before tax season, before you get into a situation where you have to pull out your 401k, before you invest into a business that might not be fit for you, or before you go and get your, I'm not saying anything to your stylist or your hairstylist, but before you go and get your hair done, let Fontanya analyze your scalp, see if it's healthy enough for you to continue doing what you're doing. We're not saying stop going to her. We're just saying, look, we got something that's going to help you capitalize on that which you already have. So, this is just our membership, and you can click the join, and we'll, be able to break down any other questions, information, comments concerning it. Again, these are introductory team member prices only. Prices are subject to increase in accordance to active network business owners, sponsors, and investors that we have in our network. So it may be this price today, and if you don't get in on the membership prices, that board may be wiped clean with something different. And I think, personally, that's giving it away.
Oh my goodness, it's giving it away. Oh my goodness.
I know Fontanya's she's gonna choke me after this meeting, but that, that's okay. We trying to give y'all a little stuff, but she gonna kill me. But that's
oh
okay.
My goodness.
Y'all might not hear me on the next webinar, but she gonna kill me.
Oh, you're spoiling them.
And I'm not gonna spoil them forever. Just to let y'all know, I'm not gonna spoil y'all forever.
Wow. This is awesome.
We have, like I said, this introductory price. You can't get. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. We said franchise owner. I might have left a zero or something out of there. Because, let me tell y'all something. Most multi-level marketing businesses, you cannot even $199 a month.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't even get that, in most multi-level marketing businesses.
Yeah.
So we're
And let
not,
me even,
you know,
yeah, companies. I'm not going to make mention of the name, but there was a cosmetic
yeah,
company
please
that
don't, please don't.
maybe about 10 years ago that I was considering getting involved with. And I tell you, the way to really, really come in with that and, begin to make, you know, possibly make some money, you were encouraged to purchase a kit. And the kit was well over $1,000,
I believe it.
you know. And so you're dealing with having to have to maintain the product. We're talking about makeup. So temperature-wise, you can't let this stuff get too hot. You can't let it get too cold. And you're toting all this stuff around. So it's like a business on your back, and you're hoping that people make purchases that you can even begin to recoup. I'm not knocking any of these companies. All I'm saying is, in comparison to anything that I've ever known, when you're talking about, I'm not even looking down at the gold team member. It's awesome for anyone who comes in under that. That is awesome. I'm looking at the franchise owner because there was a business that I got involved with, and I had to pay $1,200, and I only received 30 days of being able to contact them to get support. 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So when I see this and I think about the value, again, going back to the value and the foundation of where all this is coming from, I mean, it is such a gift, really. I mean, people spend that much on, a flat screen TV and don't think
Yeah,
two
that's
times
true.
about it.
That's true. That's true.
And we're talking about stepping into ownership that is going to reap you benefits, that is going to give you a return. We're talking about liability versus an asset, and that's what life is all about. That's what life is all about. What's going to be the return in me doing this? This is not purchasing. Let's get that out of our heads. This is not buying anything. This is not paying anything. This is what you've got to understand is investing. Investing. Investing.
That's
I
right.
think we need to get into the mind frame of what we do in terms of what would the return be. We get involved with people in relationships for different reasons. We're not just doing things haphazardly. There is an expectancy out of what we are putting our time and our energies into, and I think that we need to make sure, as Rhonda mentioned, that we treat our babies, our income, our finances like that. It's nothing to go into a store and to go shopping or what have you and spend $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, and you have it on your back. You're wearing it on your back. There's no return in that.
Nope.
None at all. I mean, hey, I'm a lady. I love a shopping spree, But my point is the mentality of what we're looking at right here is merely an investment. And when you ask me, it is minute. If we're looking at what's going out versus what's coming in, we're losing. We've already lost. We've already lost.
So that is just the introductory price. We're just letting you all know that this price, don't think that, oh, okay, it was $11.99 last night, yesterday, okay, and then you see another zero. What the world? Okay, well, you had your opportunity.
And Rhonda's gonna come to come to a point where it just dawns on her, and whether it's by demand or just the fact that this is merely a limited time offer, and
This is a limited time offer. This is a limited time offer. For those of you who are on this call, if you are not going to invest tonight, you have about 48 hours, 72 at the most, because these prices will change.
Yes, I have seen people who have wanted to make a purchase or something happen, and they had to come up with $12, $13, $14, $15 in a minute, and
Exactly.
they were able to make it happen. And again, even if this is on a loan basis from someone else, a family member, whatever the case might be, there is an expected return. So you're in a position to pay back with interest.
Exactly. Exactly. And I like the way Fontanya told you. We had a meeting, and she said something about the fact that it's not that you are losing the money. Again, this is an investment. You will get it back. If not during tax time, you will get it back just by being a member. And once you apply the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of that which we give you, you can make this as fast or as slow as you want it.
Yeah, yeah.
This,
Yeah.
I mean,
My tax preparation, Rhonda, I don't mean to cut you off. My tax preparation alone, when I had I had the information, I learned the information, just some of what you shared with me, the little bits that I knew, I was able to, it took me, first of all, close to $200 to get that information. That little bit that I had, it was no support, there was no direct talking to anyone, nearly $200. The tax filing itself was nearly $300, so we're already at $500.
right.
Okay? Not to mention, certain things that came along with it. I had to do amendments and things of that nature.
Right, right.
I was out nearly $1,000, and I did not complain. Why did not complain? Because my tax refund went from $3,100
Dollars.
you know what I'm saying? To nearly $14,000. You take this $1,000 here. Let me put it in
Hello, thank you. Let me.
Let me put that in your pocket, and you give me them other $9,000 that you're about to give me legally.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Free and clear. Now that's just on a tax refund. That's just giving that information. That's a whole separate means of you getting a good deal of money back. Just that information, not to mention everything else, resources. I'm going to tell you, my consultations alone are $150.
Wow.
My consultations,
but
45-minute consultations are $150.
But
And that's all a part of the membership.
it is. See, that's why I said this is a 72-hour membership deal. If you don't get it after 72 hours, I am sorry. And then don't come crying to us.
We still love you, though.
We still love you. But before we give you valuable information, you're either going to have to beg for training, pay for one-on-one consultation,
Yeah.
or you're going to have to actually, join one of our webinars again whenever we decide to offer them.
Yeah.
But how much money you're going to stand to lose just by waiting.
Yeah.
So
Waiting.
exactly. Yeah. So you have a deal. I mean, you have a 72-hour window of opportunity to do whatever you have to do to become a Winning with Wealth team member, to formulate several streams of income, to afford you the opportunity to pick up a net that you've been using all these years and just cast it on the other side. If it's nothing but an epiphany of enlightenment that will have you going into your job on tomorrow singing a Skip to My Lou song, which gets the attention of the president of the company, and he's like, oh, I love your attitude, let me make you an assistant. If it's nothing but the changing of the attitude, that's what we do.
And let me just say this.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I tell you, I am just, people need to understand, sometimes, us not understanding makes the difference between living and dying.
Exactly.
You know, I'm sitting here, and this is information, you know, that we've already talked about. So this is not new under the sun to me. But I'm sitting here, and when you think about, say, for instance, I'm not even dealing with a Gold Team member. I'm not, because you all are worth all of what we have to offer. It is a challenge for us to minimize all of what we have in what is offered in the Gold Team member. Let's just look at the franchise owner, $11.99 for the year. Now, let's just take, for instance, an example. We're going to be closing out very shortly, but I just wanted to make sure that you all understand and you see what I see. Because, see, when I look, I see in terms of liability and asset. You have people nowadays that whether it's 5 to 7 days a week, they buy themselves, they stop off at Starbucks and they get a latte. Okay? A latte. Let's say $5. $35 a week times 4. That's $150. $140.
Just
times
coffee.
12.
Wow.
Times 12, exactly. So right there, you already have $140 a month. We're just talking about that little sweet treat, that little cold coffee, okay? Times 12. Now, $11.99 annually. We're talking about a business. We're talking about an entire stream of income, which can very well be 4, 5, and 6 other streams encompassed in that one. With the support, with all of what was mentioned, all of those benefits, you're paying $11.99, which comes to be, I just want to make sure that I have my math right, you know, $3.28 roughly a day.
Wow.
A day.
Come on, y'all. Come on now. Less than
So you have
less
to,
than a cup of coffee.
you got to ask yourself, you know, sometimes people, you know, I'm real big on the health thing
yeah,
too.
exactly.
And so I always say to people who think, okay, I'm gonna do right, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat right, and then I'm gonna reward myself with this slice of cake and this pizza, you know, French fries or whatever. And they have the wrong understanding. They have the wrong mindset. This is not about taking something that you know good and well means you know good and calling it good and calling it a reward. A reward is when you take care of what God has given you.
Exactly.
A reward is because of the benefits that come with it. You're in good health. You're able to think better. You're able to feel better. You're more energetic naturally. You don't need a Red Bull. You don't need anybody's special drink in a can to make things happen for you. You don't have to have that coffee even. You have to ask yourself, I am valuable enough to reward myself. Let's change our minds. Change our minds. Not with the latte, but with the investment, which is nearly half the cost of that latte.
Right.
And take on $11.99 annually. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Always.
But there's no way in the world you could expect anything different and you're doing the same thing.
That's
the problem is not so much as the fact that, you know, we're all bad people and we just got it coming. No, we just have to change our minds. We have to change our worth, sowing a seed into my future, for my business. And if you have children, you really have to think about this. Because if you didn't want to have to struggle the way that you struggle, then let's think about that. You're not going to always be around. So what's going to be left for them? We're talking about a franchise. Them being in a position to take on the mentality without having to go through all of what mom went through, all of what dad went through, all of the hardships, and to be able to walk into a business, to be in a position to profit from it, generations to come. $11.99, really? That it's where the mind goes. It's where the man follows. And if you hold on to something so tight, you'll realize that nothing else can get in. We'll get to what we want. We'll get to what we want. But what are those things given back to us?
That's right.
Gotta make sense. Gotta make sense.
So y'all have 72 hours to get on this deal. After 72 hours, this deal will be gone. This deal will be going up in prices.
Bye-bye.
So Again, you have 72 hours to get on this deal. After 72 hours, just go to wherever you go to get your tissues and Kleenex and everything. Go boo-hoo, because the 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 membership prices will go up, and when we have to deal with you on a non-member basis, you're going to wish that you were a member, because
You
membership
guys,
has its benefits.
you guys are worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it enough for us to take time out free of charge to bring you this information. We can bring you to the water. We can bring you to the water, but we cannot
And
make
make
you
you
drink.
drink.
This
Exactly.
is not about your age. I'm not old enough. You might be thinking I'm not old enough. You know, I was thinking about buying this and this, that, and the other. You really got to change your mind. You've got to change your mind. Because the frightful thing or the wonderful thing about this whole concept is that where your mind goes is where you're going to follow. I can't say that enough. I cannot say that enough. But it's nothing to go to work your job, you get paid, take out taxes or what have you. It's good to know, okay, I know every time I get paid, well, I'm going to make X amount of dollars. But wouldn't it be really good if you can, I don't know, give yourself a raise?
Right.
If you can get to a point where you actually match your income being a franchise owner, therefore you don't even really have time because your business is doing so well. So again, you're worth it. And this is not a purchase at all. This is an opportunity. This is an investment. And I'm going to tell you, most things that I've got in life, and that's what we're talking about, a happy marriage or being in a position to make a decent income and to have liberty to say, okay, I want to do this and buy that and go here and do that. I've had to make some tough decisions. I've had to make some tough decisions to do what I was probably not altogether, confident in or wasn't an entire guru off the bat. I've had to make these sacrifices, and they have paid off. They have put me in a position of empowerment and being able to make empowerment team to be able to make decisions and be in the driver's seat of my life. This is my life. This is your life. You only have one of them. One life, one opportunity to make the decisions that are going to put you in a position to be able to make decisions to live a more fruitful life. That is the will of God. It is not his will that you are stressing and that you're concerned about, paying this bill and that bill. You're stepping over the dollars to get to the change. No more. Change your mind.
That's right. Change your mind and you will change the man. So again, you have 72 hours. These prices will be no more. They will be gone. Um, we will be going back to the drawing board to put up our regular member prices. This is a 72-hour introductory price. Uh,
Still love you.
know your value. Know your worth.
That's right.
If
That's
you
right.
don't know, don't expect anyone else to.
That's right.
And again, this is just uh, introductory membership price. You can you wasted more money on foolishness, on other things. I mean, uh, you wasted more money on things that weren't beneficial. So if you can do that to things that are not beneficial, how much more can you do for things that will be beneficial not only to yourself but your family to come?
That's right. Grow your money. Grow your money. Grow
Grow,
your baby. Grow
grow
your
your
baby.
baby. Grow your baby, mature your baby, put your baby in um, the arena of the position to get well.
Hmm. That's
So,
right. That's right.
anything else you wanna add, Fontanya?
Not at all. I really do think that we do what we feel led to do, and it's really all about the will to want different, the will to want change, and to know that change is not going to be something that just happens to you. You have to position yourself that change may come. You know, opportunity will come to you, and it will come to you again, and it will come to you again, and then there will come a time where you just become frustrated, and it's not because opportunity has not come; it's because you have not answered. The knock there's a knock at the door, you know, and I would highly recommend, whether we're talking about this or you know, putting yourself in the best possible position in life altogether. This is one very important aspect of your life that can most certainly not necessarily simplify, but definitely make things a little bit less hectic for you.
And I want to just end with this. Uh, this was a Power to Get Wealth uh, seminar, Power to Get Wealth. And again, like I said, when we teach anything or do anything, we're going to come with the truth, the word of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that statement comes from Deuteronomy 8:18.
Hmm.
And if you see on the screen, there are different versions. But
Mm-hmm.
what it says is, and remember, love, life, and truth. The Lord actually translate into life,
Mm-hmm.
and God translate into the word love. So,
Mm-hmm.
just in reading just the verse 18, it says, "But you shall remember the life, your love, the
Mm-hmm.
life, your love." Remember, this is your life. You should
Wow.
love your life. But you should remember, or but remember the life, your love. For
Wow.
it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth. It is he, life, that is giving you the power to make wealth, that life may confirm his life covenant, which he swore to your fathers as even this day. Now, one thing I have a problem with African American people, y'all want to stay back in the plantation and the crops and the woe is me. But we cannot woe is me when life has promised us more than 40 acres and a mule, and yet we want to sit around and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is life. You should love your life enough. You should be thankful enough for what God has allowed you to do every day to say, I want to utilize the gifts, the talents, and the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding that he has given to you to obtain prosperity and please him.
Right. Hmm. That's
So
right.
we want to please God our Father, love our Lord, and we want to obtain the wealth. And we want to welcome those who decide to join the money team. For those who wanted to take an opportunity for the 72-hour introductory price, after 72 hours, tell your friends, family, and everything. Don't give them that price now. For those of you who I joined for, no, don't give them that. No, that won't be the price. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That, well, such and such joint, no, that was the introduction. You should have been on the call.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Aren't you more valuable? How much would you want us to pay you if you really could get the money that you want? Think about it like that. How much would you want us to pay you if you wanted us to give you the money that you wanted?
Mm-hmm.
If you want someone to pay you the money that you want or that you feel that you deserve, then guess what? You're going to have to do that which will empower you to get it.
You're worth it.
You are worth it. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we look forward to joining you, because our members make money, and we are in the Winning with Wealth Empowerment team. So Fontanya Myrick, we thank you for your time, attention, your orchestrating this and putting this together. You are a godsend. We thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all of you on the call, you are a godsend. Remember that you are worth more than eyes have ever seen, and it either has entered in your heart how much you're worth, because life gave his life for you to do better, be better, to have better, and to be a joint heir with his wealth, his wisdom, his knowledge, and his understanding. So we thank you all for joining us tonight, and may you have a very profitable, productive, lucrative week until we meet again.